Where the fighters at? Tiff! Punisher! Let's ride! Rough. Yo, I'm barking at the system. CPS devils in disguise, stealing souls from the crib, leaving families in cries. Tip on the front line, claws out, no fear in the eyes. Punisher loading up, truth bullets, no lies. From the streets to the courts, we expose the corrupt. Kids locked in chains, but we're blowing it up. Pain in my chest, but I rise from the dirt. Abolish the tyrants, make them feel the hurt. Tiff and the Punisher, what? We coming for justice, what? No mercy, no peace, till the families are free, Tiff and the Punisher, what? Smash the machine, what? Rise up, fight back, we own the scene, Rolling in the shadows where the innocent bleed. Tiff spitting fire, planting the seed. Punisher's wrath like a storm unleashed. Tearing down walls, no rest, no cease. Parents in agony, kids in the void. But we're the dogs of war, fully deployed. From YouTube battles to real life strikes, we reclaim the lost under heaven's lights. Tiff and the Punisher, we coming for justice. No mercy, no peace, till the families are free. Tiff and the Punisher, smash the machine. Rise up, fight back. We own the scene. Lord, give me strength in this endless fight. Darkness surrounds, but I see the light. For every tear, every broken home, we charge ahead, never alone. Tiff leads the pack, Punisher by our side. Justice prevailing, no place to hide. Tiff and the Punisher, we coming for justice. No mercy, no peace, till the families are free. Tiff and the Punisher, smash the machine. Rise up, fight back. We own the scene.
Tiff and the Punisher, they won't back down. Fight for children in every town. They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS, it's every down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up by thin ties. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows, and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior. We cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
Tiff! Whew,
Hey,
there we are. Yes, we had a little moment there. No big
where
deal.
are we? Where are we?
I don't
Where
know.
are we?
Are we here?
Um,
Are we in that circle?
Oh,
Here we
there we
are.
are.
Here we are, Tiff. Hello. Tally ho. Welcome back to Tiff and the Punisher, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tiff and the Punisher. Boy, my hair is a mess. What's up, Tiff?
Oh, wow. We had a good day today here in Virginia.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You should be excited. You know what? Look at you go, right? You're obviously a celebrity now. Because you're the winner of the President's Award. And then what happened today again?
So, a girl that Claire brought me needed some help. And we were trying to help her lawyer, but he was a fucking dickhead. Don't you be listening to them advocates. They don't know what they're talking about. I said, look here, man. You need to retain Pat McGraw because I'm telling you, your kid is coming home. Well,
so it's fair to say you didn't like that lawyer didn't like you.
He didn't even know me, but he didn't.
Okay.
We were telling him how to get around this, right? Anyway, he was court appointed.
Mm-hmm.
So he kept on and kept on, and oh, you need to cooperate. You need to do this. You need to do that. I said, no, don't listen to him. Listen to me. You need to hire Pat. Mm-hmm. So she hired Pat. He sent a special appearance yesterday. It showed up today, and he rocked the courtroom. Her kid is awesome. Coming home either May 5th or before May 5th. Yeah.
Oh, my. That's great.
No, we don't do that.
Chalk one up for the books.
Yeah.
Another one bites the dust.
Yes. CPS was mad because he said, Your Honor, can I remind the court that CPS is not a certified reader of drug tests, and actually the baby's drug tests, like the mothers, have been coming back negative.
Yeah, this is, you know what? This is getting out of control, that CPS is able to come out and rehearse these drug tests like they're some sort of specialist on some sort of chemistry panel. You know, like they can't even read half of these words, most of them, but yet they're going to tell you that you're being positive. I think to be able to read those results, you should have to be some sort of a
expert.
whatever they are. Yeah, whatever the word is.
So I want people to understand, because they were saying that the meth came back at a 500. They're saying the baby was positive. That is not true. That means the baby was actually negative. And now even the guardian ad litem is on mom's side now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this poor girl, her kid just got run through the fucking ringer because some asshole caseworker thought she knew what she was doing and reads these results wrong. And now this kid's been in custody for how long?
I want to say before Christmas.
So see, this is enough. This is another example of why we can't give them that badge to play God. I mean, we have it's absolutely asinine. I can't believe that they're getting away with this. Hold on a second. This is our guest here. Hold on me.
Okay. Yeah, so the baby is coming home. Because she did sign a thing to say she would take a parenting class, of course, but they lied to her about the paper said, but she should have read it. But anyway, he said, yes, she will take that class and only that class. And then her child will be coming home. So I'm excited. So don't ever let anybody tell you that it doesn't happen, because I'm telling you, if you get the right people in place, it does happen. So I'm going to tell everybody, I went on Kid Jacked and I was scrolling through Virginia and I was reading comments, and that's how I actually found this guy. And when he took my daughter's case and represented my daughter, and we beat them with him because I couldn't do anything, and then beat it administratively, he has been my go-to lawyer now for 5 years. And everybody except one person that I sent to him, he has helped. So I'm telling you, we got to get louder and louder and louder, because now's the time we need to bring kids home. I guess Darren's waiting on our guest. I need to drink something real quick. So, Alicia, you better resend that to me, because I didn't see it in my email. And if I did, I probably accidentally deleted it. And hi, everybody. I'm just reading the comments real quick. So that's where we're at in Virginia tonight. I am so happy. Yes, John, make sure everybody likes, subscribes, and shares our videos, because you never know who might need to hear this or see this. So how's everybody else's day been going? Mine's been going good so far. I guess I'll wait a few minutes. Okay, thank you, Alicia. And I will look at it, but probably not tonight, because as soon as this is over, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. And I think the next child that's coming home is going to be Claire's son, because the same lawyer that rocked the courtroom today is also her lawyer. And we got to take care of Claire next. I guess our guest is having a little problem getting on. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for coming on. It meant a lot to us too. Absolutely. Aw. Alicia, called Darren ASAP. I think the guest is having an issue. And I really hope that if you watched last night, that Jane I'll tell you in a second, John. I hope that somebody or anybody in foster care or knows a foster child that wants to help them. I really hope that they understand what this child's going through and maybe get them emancipated or into Job Corps. And I didn't record it because I wasn't sure why I was going to this meeting. But there is a picture of me and the president with my award on Facebook. If you go to Tiffany Wise on Facebook, you can see it. My face a little scrunched up because I was crying. So when I got there, I went to the end of the meeting because I had my grands, and somebody was talking, and then my president said, well, I have to get to one more thing. And he said, Malcolm X said, agitate, 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 talking about the government. And he said, we're proud to say that we have our own agitator. And it's our legal redress chair, Tiffany Wise. And then he asked me to come up. And I went up there. And he said, we want to present her with the NAACP President Award. And that's how it unfolded. So I already got it. So no, we can't do 11. Like I said, I didn't record it because I wasn't sure why I was there. But thank you. And I guess they're working on getting our I guess they're getting our guest on. And back to Jane, now that I finished reading the whole comment. Yes, I think that you should actually come on so you can reach out to the foster kids, Jane, that are in the situation or that have aged out of the system, and give them a platform too to talk about their experience. Because if we don't talk about it, people don't know about it, right? They think that, like Darren said, that they're out here saving kids. And actually, they're not saving kids. They're actually putting them in harm's way. So yeah, so we're going to have to come up with a nifty little name for you. And I'm sure Darren will have a song for you and a cute little cartoon. And yeah, we want you to join the team. Absolutely. Lewis is still trying to figure things out. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, with the guest. This is why I stopped doing pre-recorded videos, because I was by myself. So, anybody have any questions until they come on? Oh, yes. They need to come out. They need to say how everything unfolded, or if they don't want to talk about how it unfolded, at least how they were treated in foster care, right? Did they age out? Did they get kicked out? That's fine, Alicia. How were they treated? Were they treated like you? Were they treated better, good, like the family, or just like a paycheck? Because I'm going to tell you, everything that those people made off your back, they should be thanking you. Their houses, their cars, their trips to Disneyland. Hey, Darren. And all that.
Hey, Tiff.
You're back.
I made it.
No, your mic's muted.
Is it really still muted? No, you can hear
You're
me.
not. You're not.
I can hear you through Messenger.
I know, because you're talking to me on the messenger still. Hold on. I got to hang up with you. Bye, Alicia. Thank you.
Bye. Yep.
I felt like I was rude to her. That is strange. All right, we're
Yes,
gonna try
John,
this
I
now.
do. I do have it, and I will bring it out tomorrow because I have it put up. Because if the baby breaks it, I'm gonna have a whole heart attack about it. But go ahead. Is our
Oh
guest
my,
ready?
he's working on coming through. He's coming through the airwaves here. So I'll give everybody a little. We've had him on the show before, Michael. He's gotten his ass and his wife have been raked over the coals by, guess what? Another Tennessee situation.
Oh,
Um,
I remember them.
yeah, well, remember he got like OUI by proxy. You know, Michael, is it working, buddy? You give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. It sounds like he's looked like he's trying to talk to us. So let's see if we got him.
Last time you had to hold your phone up.
Yeah, well, we try to avoid that. Michael, can we hear you this time? Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear y'all.
And we hear you. We're in.
Cool.
All right. I was just getting ready to give everybody a little preface. What did they call that they charge you with? This is the absurdity of what went on here. So just a little roundabout
DUI
thing.
by consent.
DUI by consent. That means that he was a passenger in a vehicle where a person that didn't even get a DUI because she passed the breathalyzer, he gets a DUI by consent. And this is what stems all of this stuff going on from taking their
Well,
kids.
she took
He gets put in jail
the
for 6 months.
breathalyzer like an hour earlier when she got pulled over before. So she had already took a breathalyzer test, but once she got to the house and had argued with her brother told us to leave. Then he called the city police, and the city police didn't have a breathalyzer. So, I mean, I was under the assumption that she had just passed a breathalyzer. She was okay to drive, but they didn't care. They wanted to arrest her and me so that they could take the kids.
So is that really a
Yep.
true charge? Is that really on your books?
Yes, a DUI by consent.
What does that even mean?
It's on his stuff. It's on his stuff, but I looked it up. I've looked for it in Tennessee. I've looked for it. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere.
They also charged us with neglect or endangering the welfare of a child, something like that. It's a neglect charge.
But how are they doing that when you're not even? So you could be out driving around with your kid, and now you're getting neglect charges because these charges are bunk. They're bogus.
Right.
They're NG. Like they're just ridiculous. But now they've even gone. So here's the problem: is that they backed them into the corner. Like these guys went from homeless to doing nothing to now Crystal's got a great job. They got a beautiful place to live for their kids. They've done everything that they're supposed to do. And remember, they took their kids the visitation. Remember, they stopped their visitations from them because he said to the lady he didn't understand or whatever. Well, tomorrow they have that hearing finally, so they can get their visits back.
Yes, I told my son.
That's
they
what we got going
considered it as talking about the case, and I told him what it was. We arrived an hour early to the Omni office. And because they have been violating our son's First Amendment right to practice their religion, for a year now. They live with two men, and two married men don't go to church, and I'm okay with that. But it's up to the Omni supervisor that it is in their case to provide them a way back and forth to church, regardless, if the foster parents go to church or not. If the children want to go to church, it's their direct supervisors' problem. After that, and they've been denying it. We arrived there an hour early, and the only one that was there at the Omni office was the boys' old supervisor. He got took off the case because Ansley, the boys' foster dad, stole the kids' Christmas presents and donated them. And not only did they steal the ones that we bought for the kids, for the boys, but they had a 30-gallon black trash bag full of presents from the girls' foster parents. And they donated those as well. The boys never even got to open them presents. And then for 2 weeks straight, lied about it. Ansley walked my son through the entire house and the garage trying to help him look for them, and then 2 weeks later finally admitted, oh, I must have donated. So when I got there, we arrived an hour early. I went in, and their old supervisor was there, and I was like, "Is Miss Natalie here? She's the supervisor over them, over the supervisors." And he was like, "No, but I'll call her. What's going on?" I said, "Well, my boys have been wanting to go to church, and it's been a year now. We need something done about this, or I'm gonna as soon as I get my kids back, I'm gonna sue them. Period. That's what I said." And he got on the phone with Natalie, and the first thing he said was, "Michael's here. He says we've been violating his son's right to practice their religion, and this has been going on since he was involved." That's what he said. He said this has been going on since I was involved, and it's still not fixed. Well, Natalie got on there and lied and said that she had talked to the foster dad, and I'll tell you why I know she lied. It come out in the meeting. She said she talked to the foster dad, and the foster dad said the boys were kind of watching church live stream, and so when the boys got there, I was just going to let it go. If they're practicing their religion, I don't care if it's live stream or not. I mean, I understand the foster dads don't go to church. Uh, as long as they're learning about the Word of God, I was okay with that. But when I asked, Letitia, the girls' supervisor, yelled at me and said Natalie had told her not to allow me to ask them whether or not they went to church. She said it's an adult matter. I said, "Ma'am, I looked at my daughter Elizabeth. She's 14. I said, Elizabeth, are you a Christian?" She said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Elizabeth, do you like going to church?" She said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Son, are you a Christian?" He's 13. He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Do you want to go to church?" He said, "Yes, sir." I looked at her and I was like, "That's not an adult matter. That's their First Amendment right." And that's when Katie, the boys' supervisor, walked in, and my wife walked in right behind her. I helped her carry in the stuff because we got them pizza, cake, ice cream. We were celebrating our son's birthday, and we had to hire an attorney because my court-appointed attorney dropped me after I made a bar complaint on him, and so we had to hire an attorney, and we had to pay $350 consolation fee. Well, when I went in, we always get our children 7 presents apiece. I went into the visit and I seen his eyes when he seen there was only one present, and he looked hurt. So I wanted to comfort him, and I told him, I was like, "Son, we will give you your other 6 presents at the very next visit, but we had to pay $350 this month to get pay for a lawyer, a consolation fee for a lawyer." And that's when the Letitia yelled and said, "You can't say that." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What can I say?" So I start to walk over to them, and she's like, just drop it. And so I start to walk away, and I'm like, "No, if I broke a rule, if I said something wrong, I need to know what that is." So I walk back over, and I was like, "Will one of y'all step out and talk to me about this? Out of the room, and explain to me what I did wrong." And Letitia, the girls' supervisor, said, "No, just drop it. We'll talk about it after the visit." Well, I started to walk away. Katie slammed her hands down. She's the one under such scrutiny for violating my son's First Amendment right. So she was not happy with me. Like I put her out there, I guess, an hour before the visit started. And she slammed her hands down. She said, "The mother can stay, but Dad, you got to go." And my kids started bawling and like wrapping me up, hugging me, like freaking out. And they're like, "Why is he got to go? Why is he got to go?" They wouldn't answer. I'm like, What did I do wrong? Period. What I do wrong?" And they wouldn't answer. So I was like, "Okay, I'll leave. Calm down. I'll leave." Because she rushed at me like as they were hugging me, and I was like, "Just call your supervisor." So she called her supervisor, and I went out into the hallway and was talking to the supervisor. But Natalie, she was already being really rude to me earlier, and as soon as I got on the phone with her, she just told me to leave. She wasn't explaining nothing. She just said, "Get out." So I went out and I called my pastor. I cried for a while. My pastor prayed with me. And then I asked my phone, "Is it against the rules?" My phone said yes. and it said it was considered as speaking about the case. So I said, what exactly? I asked my phone again, what exactly is speaking about the case? And it talked about like stressing the children out or coaching the children on what to say, what to or not to say at court. Nothing like what I did. And so I ended up calling the police and they come there, and I explained to them what happened before the visit. And the sergeant that he was like, yes, this is clear retaliation. What did you say to your son again? I said, sir, all I told him was I couldn't afford the presence because we had to hire a lawyer. He said, they kicked you out for that. He was like, no, they kicked you out because you pointed out their wrongdoing. And so he was on my side. Well, he went in and talked to Katie, and then he left. Well, the entire 4-hour visit, they had sit over in the corner and talked about me. Letitia stood up at one point in time and told Crystal that this was why we would not move on to unsupervised visitation. And Elizabeth is 14. She knows what that means. She's like, Mom, don't that mean we won't get to come home? And Crystal looked at them like, what am I supposed to say about that? And they wouldn't answer her. They said, good. She said, I know I'm not supposed to answer, so will you answer her? All they said was good. Well, they kept the door open the entire time, the outside door, not the one to the hallway, but the actual outside door. So I could have walked in the entire time. And the reason why that's so important is because 15 minutes before the end of the visit, I messaged my wife and I asked my wife if it would be okay if I give the kids hugs before they left. And if not, to let me know. And I wouldn't, I just give them the I love you sign. We always hold up our hands like this at the end of the visits until they can't see us no more. So I was just going to do that. I wasn't going to go nowhere near them. I wanted to give them hugs and tell them I love them. But if they didn't want that because they were afraid I was going to say something or something like that, I would just give them the I love you sign. Well, they ended up calling the cops and having the cops make me and my wife leave before the visit, or right after the visit, and before they would bring the kids out. And in front of the kids, they messaged their foster parents and told their foster parents not to stop for no one, to try to make it seem like there was a danger, involved. That's why they called the cops, is to try to make it seem like there was a danger. And during the meeting, they had a meeting 2 days later, a visitation meeting. During the meeting, they said that the Omni worker, I told him that this was a one-time thing, that I made a mistake. I never would have thought telling my son I hired a lawyer was considered talking about the case. Not only that, they'd never given me the rules. When they give my wife the rules, I was incarcerated, so I didn't get a set of the rules. All I knew was, you didn't talk negatively, or, I didn't know I did wrong, period. And
Right.
the Omni worker ended up saying that it wasn't a one-time thing. This has happened at every visit. So, but because she said that, and because the foster dad was lying and saying that this happened at the other meeting, the foster dad was lying and saying my son didn't want to come to the visitation, and he had threw a fit because he didn't want to come, and that might, like, the Omni worker actually questioned him about that, because she said that it didn't make no sense, that he always had fun with us, and she supervised the phone calls. So what he was saying didn't add up. So he questioned Mikey and Ray about it. And Mikey and Ray both told her that that was not true. That was never said. Well, she forgot to put that in her report. And they used that against us to keep us from getting unsupervised visitation in our last meeting. 15 minutes of the 45-minute meeting was the Ansley, the foster dad, trying to say that my son didn't want to come home, nor did he want to visit us, nor did he talk to us when we would talk to him on the phone. And she wasn't in that meeting, so she wasn't able to say. I questioned the boys about that, nor would she have. I mean, she wouldn't have won against Omni, of course. But during the meeting, she said that it had happened at every single visit. There had been a negative interaction at every single visit. Well, about a week later, after the meeting, we were looking for videos on our phones, and we finally found it 2 visits ago.
Mhm.
Katie, the one who said that, um, we caught her on camera. We were videoing our conversation after the visitation, and it's a one party consent state. We did get her face and everything in it, but it's a one party consent state. I did check the law on that. She said the exact opposite what she said during the meeting. She said that there had never been nothing but positive interaction between us and the kids, and if there was any negative interaction, that she would be required, that we could check her monthly reports, that she would have been required to put it in her monthly reports, and we got that on video. We have her saying that on video from 2 visits ago, and during the meeting, they didn't allow Amber from Health Connect. She supervised 50% of the visits, and then the two Omni workers, the girls is Omni worker and the boys is Omni worker, they did 50%, but they split that 50%, so 25 and 25. So the one who had supervised the most visitation wasn't even allowed to be a part of the meeting. We requested her to be there. We knew she would stand up for us. They said that because they had to do the meeting the day after the visit, they didn't. She didn't have enough time to be on there, and they didn't even. We contacted Miss Amber from Health Connect. She said that they never even contacted her or tried to get her involved in the meeting.
So you said you hired a lawyer?
Mhm.
We paid a $350 consolation fee, and then we were supposed to be able to pay 150 of that was supposed to go towards like future bills, and we were supposed to be able to pay monthly. Well, he ended up wanting 1,700 up front after he found out who my judge was. He was like, no, this is going to take time. And I'm like, man, we've completed our permanency plan 6 months ago. We've done everything they've asked. This is open and close. And he's like, no, I'm not jumping into a case like this with Judge Ross involved. That's how, I mean, when I was 13 years old, well, he sent me off 13 different times between the age of 7 and the age of 17. So, like when I was 13, he was being really disrespectful to my mom, and I told him to go back in his judge's chamber, adjust his ankle monitor, and snort another line of cocaine. Because that's why he had an ankle monitor on us. Because him and the DCS worker, I know her exact name. She was the head DCS worker back when I was a kid.
Right,
She was
you've
my
been with
foster
those
mom's
judges.
best friend.
You've been with this judge since you were 12 years old, right?
No, I've been with that judge since I was 7.
7
That
years
judge
old.
should have recused himself.
Yeah.
I brought that up.
Yeah.
We didn't. I didn't actually get to serve him the motion to ask him to recuse himself, but it was on the list of motions we had made. We did an ADA motion. We did a motion to show cause, and one other one. I can't remember what it was, but
Restore your visits. The restore your visits motion.
yes, the only one that I did not actually file was the motion to recuse, and that's the only one he held against me. He said he couldn't move forward with any of these motions until we settled that one. And I'm like, Your Honor, that's just on the list of motions I plan on filing. I didn't actually file that one. But so because it was on the list, he used that to be able to prevent us from moving forward and getting our visitations back the 3rd of December. So he rescheduled it to the 10th of December. And then the 10th of December, he said he's a lawyer as well. And he had a case at like 12 o'clock.
Whoa. Did you say the judge is a lawyer?
Yes, he's a lawyer
Yeah.
as well.
No. Judges cannot practice law if they sit on the bench. Absolutely not. No, they cannot.
I'm just saying he does.
Oh.
He is also a lawyer. You can look him up. His name is Judge James Ross, Wayne County, Tennessee. He was my criminal judge as well.
They are not allowed to practice law if they are a judge.
Right. I mean,
A
I've
lawyer.
heard that
Right.
too. I have heard that too. But I mean, he does. He practices. He practices as an attorney in other counties.
Okay, well, somebody needs to file a canons and ethics complaint against that judge.
Well, he ended up saying that he had court in another county, and he had to leave at 11 o'clock, so he was not able to do it. So we missed Christmas with our kids. We haven't talked to our kids in 2 months. They during the meeting they took my wife's visits away from her because they said she didn't argue with me, or I don't know exactly how they put it. I've got their motions. The GAL requested the visits to be made a motion and requested the visits to be suspended, and requested couples therapy, requested another psych eval with a risk assessment as well. We destroyed it. There was 15 things that, like she said, Christmas presents. She said my wife's last name was called L rather than Ryland. She's been a Ryland for 13 years. Just certain things that you could tell she didn't know the case and she hadn't put in the work. She was just going off the top of her head, and like saying Christmas presents. It was a birthday. It wasn't. It had nothing to do with Christmas. They brought up adoption. One of the things is they brought up adoption. Said I told the kids that they were going to be adopted out if I didn't get a lawyer. Why? We've completed the permanency plan. We've done everything DCS asked. Why would I even say that? Like that makes no sense whatsoever. But it's just one of the things that they've said. I was going to read that for y'all, but there's so much to it. We wouldn't have enough time. And we've done the same thing with the DCS attorney. The motion the DCS attorney had made. There's 15 different things on that one that was wrong, including the last thing that I do want to read, the last thing that they said, because we didn't get a permanency hearing. Because of this visitation hearing being put off for 2 months, we have a right to a 12-month hearing where the judge either has to give us our kids back or prove GCS has to prove we're a substantial risk to our children. And so the last thing that the DCS attorney said, there are concerns that things at home won't be any different if they go back home.
And how do they know what's going on in your house?
Exactly. And where do they? I mean, from me telling my son that we hired a lawyer, that gives them the right to say things won't be any different if they come back home.
When is your hearing?
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Don't expect much.
Well, one of the things that they said was we didn't learn anything, and that we didn't use what we did learn from our classes during the visits. And so I was taught in parenting, I was taught from a book called The Whole Brain Child. And I wrote out the 12 steps to the whole brain child. And I'm giving that to my lawyer. So my lawyer is going to ask me 12 questions, what is
But you do have a lawyer tomorrow?
Yes, I have. He's a court-appointed attorney, and he actually surprised me. He actually surprised me. I don't really think that court-appointed attorneys are for you. But when I went to this guy's office, he could have kept me there for 30 minutes to an hour. He didn't. He kept me there for 4 hours. He put himself in our shoes after his daughter called him on the phone. Like when I first met him, I was like, man alive, I hope that's him, because I felt a godly presence. Like, I don't know if you've ever been around a man that like you can feel a presence of God in that person. Well,
Certainly,
I
yeah.
felt that. I felt that from him, and I told him, I was like, I, I I I feel the presence of God in you, and I feel like that God sent you on my path to um, to as a guardian angel to us. And he was like, I'm gonna do my best for you. I offered to ask the judge to allow me to get my own attorney and pay him with my own money. He said, well, I normally take 2,500 as a retainer. um, he was like, just let them pay for it. I'm gonna get paid regardless. So I mean, a man that could have made more money off of me if he would have just took payments. A man that took 4 hours out of his time when he could have just kicked me out of there. You know, he went through the entire document. He took down evidence. This is the only lawyer that we've had. Like when we went to court the 10th, Crystal's lawyer dropped herself off her case. So, because during the meeting, Crystal was the only one with a lawyer. My wife, Crystal, she was the only one with a lawyer, and her lawyer only said one thing. She said, "I object to you taking Crystal's um, visitation," and the GAL said, "I object to your objection." Like, we was in a team meeting. This was like, what's objection? You know, say why. Period. Some like she's done nothing wrong. Period. She did nothing wrong, and you can't say that like they recommended couples therapy because she didn't argue with me, because she didn't put me in my. She was agreed with me. She agreed with me. She thought the same thing. Like, what did he do wrong? She couldn't understand what I did wrong. The kids couldn't understand what I did wrong. How can you get, I hired a lawyer to talking about the case, like that. How is that talking about the case? Or how would I know if I didn't know already? How would I know that's considered as talking about the case? I
It do
didn't
it
mean to make a
it wouldn't
mistake.
have mattered. You could have said you hired Jesus Christ and they still would have
Right.
kicked you out.
Right, right.
So what is don't say too much. But do you feel good about going in there tomorrow with this lawyer?
Man, I'll put it this way. Where's the? There it is. I told you it was a book, right? Yeah. Well, I've got that book. I memorized it. I am dyslexic, but I use a voice reading app, and I really like the book. I like the way it talked about parenting. It's about um, connect and redirect. Connect to your child's right side of the brain, with the right hemisphere, which is emotions, and then redirect as far as like the left side of the brain is like logic and literal. It's language, like, and the right side is like, you see, when you see someone sad with a sad face, that's the right side of their brain working their face. When they okay. Name it to tame it. Like, there's 12 different things. Name it to tame it. Engage, don't enrage. Use it or lose it. Use the upstairs brain rather than the downstairs brain. I've got 12 different questions that my lawyer is going to ask me, because, and one of the questions I want him to ask me is, did they ever ask you what you learned? No one ever asked me what I learned. And if they would have, I would have been able to explain to them about the whole brain child. I've listened to this book like 50 times. Like, I made sure I know this book by heart, especially now that I'm going to this hearing. um
But do you feel good about this lawyer?
the lawyer, yes. I feel like he's a good man, and he put himself in my shoes. He Like, one of the things that he told us is, when we were there for 4 hours, he, he said that by the way this file sounded right here, he's fully expected to see 4 children sitting in corners and twiddling their thumbs during the visitation. And he took like 20 videos of us interacting with our kids and playing with our kids and having fun with our kids during the visits. And he also took the recording of the Omni worker saying there's never been anything but positive interaction between us and the kids. So I don't see how it can go wrong. Okay, if the judge is not just 100% against me to the point, like, and I mean, I know he don't like me, but if he's just not 100% against me, and if he has any kind of morals at all, I feel like he's going to be able to see the truth. This is a third party adoption agency. They profit off of making a parent look bad. When I came in there and I called out their wrongdoings, it didn't matter what I did that day. They were kicking me out of that visit. They were retaliating against me some way, somehow.
What I want you to do tomorrow is I kind of feel okay with your lawyer. He's not a beast like the one I got. But anyway, if they deny your visits, you walk out of that courtroom and you immediately tell him to appeal that decision. Immediately. Don't leave the courthouse until you appeal it.
One thing that did have me questioning is I had to convince him to subpoena my children. Elizabeth and Mikey are 14 and 13. They have a right to be there, not just, should they be there? Not like they have an actual right to be there. And I had no one ever told me this. I had to do the research and find this out myself. But they are also, if the GAL isn't advocating for their wishes, they have a right to their separate a separate court-appointed attorney. It's called attorney ad litem.
Well, don't feel bad about that, because I had a whole 2-hour conversation with another person that I'm helping here, and actually their lawyer agreed to talk with me, and he learned a lot from me, and I learned a lot from him. I told him too, you need to subpoena those children. And he said that he was juggling that, right? Because he's like, well, the guardian ad litem's going to scream and yell, but I need them there. I said, then you know what you do? I don't know what it's called there, but in Virginia, it's called in scope. Okay.
In scope?
Which means, in scope. That means the judge talks to the children. I said, so you do it where you subpoena them to talk in scope without their attorney and without you in there, just
Right.
them and the judge. And I know it works because 2 other kids that I was a part of helping get home did the same thing. Neither attorneys were allowed in the courtroom, and those kids are home. And they told the judge exactly. I mean, they were cussing and everything.
I wanted that. I do. I want that. My daughter, she's a cheerleader, but she's very shy, and I don't want her put on the spot. I want her to be able to go in there. Okay. The 10th, when we went into court, there was the 3 Omni workers, Natalie, Katie, the boys' supervisor, and the girls' supervisor, Letitia. Then the foster mother and one of the boys' foster dad was in there, but they also had teachers and my daughter's coach, cheerleading coach, there as well with her 8-year-old daughter. Her 8-year-old daughter is friends with my 9-year-old daughter, Gracie. And I'm like, I know, like, at talking to my lawyer was the first time I found out that the cheerleading coach and the teacher, Miss Colley, all go to Teresa, the foster mom's church. So they're putting in letters of recommendation, not necessarily for her to adopt, but for them not to come home. They've got 5 letters in there in 2 months stating that Elizabeth and Gracie are in the best possible place they could be. And my lawyer actually said he's going to try to get those thrown out. That's I actually, okay. When they lied to my mother and told my mother that because she lived out of state, she couldn't take the kids. My mother's been trying to contact them ever since, like the caseworkers, the DCS workers, and
Yep.
they never would reply to her. They only replied to her last week because she said she has evidence, screenshots of all the times she tried calling their phone, that they need to get in touch with her immediately. That and so they finally did contact my mom, but this is 14 months later. We're right at the 15-month mark where, if we lose this visitation hearing, the very next step is most likely going to be termination of parental rights. And we've passed all of our drug screens. We did everything they've asked. There's just been this one incident where I made a mistake. I did not know that telling my son I hired a lawyer was considered as talking about the case. Like, how would I? You can't put two and two things together. Like, they need to be more specific or something.
It had nothing to do with you. It doesn't matter what you said. They're trying to eliminate you because the foster families making money off your children. That's the
Right.
real deal. Just like Jane, I was on yesterday, that they were buying minivans. They were taking families on trips without them, without her. They were buying houses
They did my
because it's
boys that
all
way.
about the money. See?
They took my boys to Florida, and the DCS worker. This has been in the last 2 months, and the DCS worker didn't ask us. She just messaged me and informed me that she was trying to get the like every other time they have asked us. Like when the girls went to Florida, they asked us if it was okay if the girls went to Florida, and we was like, they've never been to Florida, they've never been to the ocean. Of course, we'd love for them to go. Well, the foster mom used to be a like on our side. She told the girls that we were doing everything, that she could tell we were doing everything we could to get them back home, and she was on our side. But not the last visit where I got kicked out, but the visit before that, my son Elizabeth came and she was like, "Mommy, why'd you say?" I'd never had my daughter's hair cut before. Their hair, like a woman's hair, is their glory. Like I'm Baptist, but I was in foster care a lot, so I was in Pentecostal churches as well. So I believe a woman's hair is her glory, and I was never going to allow my daughter's haircut. But when they asked us if they could get their haircut, if DCS could get their haircut, we said yes, you can cut the dead ends. Well, they went on to cut it 2 more times without even asking us. And the second time, my wife finally was just like, "Look, you don't need to cut my daughter's hair no more." Well, Teresa, the foster mom, told my daughter that her mom, that my wife Crystal said her hair was ugly and that she didn't like it. And so during the visit, she asked Crystal, why'd you say my hair was ugly and you didn't like my hair? And we both told her, "Look, your hair is beautiful." The only thing we ever said was, "Please don't cut their hair anymore." We didn't want their hair this short in the first place. Their hair looks exactly like the foster mom's hair. It's short. It's down to here. When it was down to their butts before they went into foster care. Never been cut before, ever. Scissors have never cut their hair.
What
Long,
time is
beautiful blonde.
what time is your hearing tomorrow?
At 11 o'clock.
And you're on Eastern time, right?
I think so. Yes, and I'll
It's the
be
same time as us.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Oh yeah, about the foster mom. She bought us this. She got this from my wife for Mother's Day. That's my daughters and my son, Elizabeth, Mikey, Gracie, and Ray.
Aw.
Yeah, their hair is now about that short right there. The exact same length as the foster mom's hair. But there was a time when she was right there with us. When we went to to my daughter's baptism, the teacher was there, Miss Colley. She was there, and she hugged me and my wife. And no one had ever told us Miss Colley had put in letters of recommendation recommending that the kids stayed there. And when we found that out, we're like, yeah, of course, because Elizabeth's the cheerleader. She's Oh, the motion that
Yeah.
not motion. There's in the
Okay.
last permanency plan, in the middle of the permanency plan, the GAL hid this so that we couldn't find it. I'd never seen this before. About a month ago, when I found it, I freaked out. It says statement. It says statement of responsibility. Statement of responsibility for DCS workers to provide support and services to achieve the goal of adoption for Elizabeth, for Gracie, for Michael, and for Ray. So
Oh my
because
God.
we knew that the GAL recommended that adoption be placed on the permanent or put in the permanency plan as one of the goals, but the way they explained it to us was there has to be two goals, and if there wasn't family members stepping up, my mother, my wife's sister, stepping up and asking for the children to come to them, then there has to be a secondary goal. If reunification, like they explained it to us that it would be a secondary goal, that they wouldn't be working towards adoption before terminating reunification, you know. But I've just recently found out that yes, they put it in the last permanency plan to work as a requirement for DCS to work towards adoption now.
I want you to because we're friends on Facebook, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to contact me and Darren after your hearing tomorrow. But I'm telling you, if they rule against you, the minute you walk out of that courtroom, you look at your attorney and you say, we have to appeal this right now.
Right.
Darren,
What?
it's time to end the show because I got a little one still running around. I tried to
Yeah.
put him to bed. I want to tell
Yeah,
you good
Michael, I'm
luck
going to call you
tomorrow.
after the show, too, because I've been going through all your paperwork over here. So I'm going to give you a call after this, all right?
All righty, brother. I appreciate you.
And I'll be waiting
Cool.
to hear from
All
you
right.
about 1:00.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. Good luck tomorrow.
God bless y'all.
Ooh. It's scary stuff, ain't it, Tiff?
It's absurd.
Yeah, I can't even believe that he's going through this. This is just absolutely disgusting.
I've never ever heard that fucking charge in my life.
No, I've looked up and down, left and right, BA, select, start, try to find this damn thing. It doesn't exist. It does not even exist. And their entire case stems from that.
Exactly.
And it's just absolutely asinine. So I really do hope that tomorrow he can go in there and kick their ass. I really do. I hope that there's the graces of God are there, you know, and maybe they get some momentum from Pat or something. I mean, because these guys need a break. I mean, they're just good, wholesome people. You know, like they're not too extremely crazy. They're not too extremely conservative. You know, like it's just they're just the
John,
right people.
I will bring my award out tomorrow. So I can hold it up.
But anyway.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I'm so nervous for them, but
I am
hopefully
too.
God will hopefully God will
watch out for him.
Yeah, God will be driving tomorrow, right? That's what we hope for. So yeah, well all we can do now is sit and wait there, Tiff.
I know. That's the worst
That's all
part.
we can do. Yep.
I won't sleep tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Say your prayers for Michael and Crystal tonight, and we'll let y'all know what happens tomorrow.
God bless y'all.
Have
Thank
a good night,
y'all so
everybody.
much.
Never been a perfect person. I put the cart before the horse. A list of reasons long the sermons, why I never needed a God. Then I heard his voice, so sweet, it put me on my knees. I'm holding on to hope for dear life, with God driving, and I'm finally free at last. God driving, God driving.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?